بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is our program Spirit of Values and this is Dr. Tariq Rashid. In this episode we will continue what we started in the previous episode about value of excellence. And we introduced the main concepts, the main pillars, the main terminology of excellence. It's one of the most important high rank values. Just to remind you, the first pillar was vision realization, and we discussed the components that will help us to achieve the vision pillar. Now, what is the second pillar in the excellence criteria? Distinctive value. It's reflected into three main criteria. What are our next generation services? We have to think of the future. We have to think of the coming generation, the youth, the kids. We have to prepare the theater for them to move with excellence. So next generation services should be well defined by each organization, by each society, by each country. It's one of the most important in the distinctive value as a pillar. The second criteria is intelligence enablement. Enablement means we have to make empowerment for using technology. Why technology? The future of jobs will be mostly related in digitalizing and technology. Robotics, artificial intelligence, big data, data security, virtual reality, augmented reality, blockchain, all of these. We have to provide empowerment and we have to train, coach employees for the using of technology. It's a very important criteria and it will help to achieve excellency. Number three is how can we invest in our talents? So talented professionals. And we discussed previously in one of the episodes the TMS, Talent Management System. Talent Management System includes four main steps we have to apply in sequence in order we can achieve actually the distinctive value. The first in the talent management system is what we call talent identification, which means organizations should define all talents available in the organization in different departments. What we do here is by the help of the HR department, they should apply job rotation. Job rotation will help to discover where are the main competencies of the employees. Then we do what we call job enrichment. By job enrichment, we means we have to empower, to give training, and then after this, we have to invest. And what we do after this, we make job enlargement. By job enlargement, we mean we give more authority, we delegate, we empower. By applying the talent management system, we are serving the value of excellency. So we have talented people, we provide training for intelligence enablement, then we prepare ourselves for the next generation services, we apply the distinctive value. The final pillar of the excellence model is enablers. There are four criteria that serve this very important pillar, enablers. Resources are the most important enabler in order we can use it, invest it in order to achieve excellency. We have lots of resources, and if you get back to the first episodes of this program about management, we have 12 resources we have to think of. But the most important is the human capital, but also machinery, technology, time, environment, information, all of these are resources, should be applied, and we should care for the assets that we have. So the assets for example, our buildings, the environment we work with, all of these will help as one of the major enablers. Then we move to the most important also enabler, data and knowledge management. How can we transfer data into information? Apply the concept of information to transfer into knowledge, then using this knowledge in applications, we get the enablers needed. But in a world of lots of crises and lots of changing, we have to define our partners. Who are our partners? Who are the partnerships? And we provided also in previous episodes the value of partnership and strategic integration with others, then allow communication to flow between all levels, between top and down levels of management, between the organization and its strategic holders, and also the communication outside, inside. All of these will help to achieve the enablers. So if we look to the model again, the model is 3 main pillars. Each pillar is served by 4 or 3 criteria according to the model. Then once we apply this, here are the inputs and the process or the processes and the outputs. The inputs is the enablers. So the enablers will act as the input for excellency. But what about the distinctive value? It is the process. So the distinctive value is here. This is the process through resources, the data, knowledge management, partnership. This is our enablers. However, once we apply the process of next generation services, we make training for the digital market, for the coming age of digitalizing by intelligence enablement. And once we enhance and invest in talents, we can achieve the output. And the output, we discussed previously the concept of vision realization. So how can we apply this? We have all to be responsible to understand the concept. At the end, excellency is reflected as an action. Once it is reflected as an action, we review strategy. Have we achieved really what we are doing, the main objectives? And we relate with what we call the SWOT analysis. We discussed previously the SWOT analysis, but just to remind you, SWOT analysis is one of the most important strategic tools that will help us scan the organizational environment, both internally and externally. S, what are our main strengths? W, what are our weaknesses? These are internal factors in the strategy. But if we look to the external environment, we have to read the opportunities available, and there are lots of opportunities in the coming ages as well as in the common now part of all organizations. We have lots of opportunities that we can invest, but we have to care for the threats. What threats we may face, this is help us to take an action. Then we set priorities. So after defining our strategy and defining the SWOT, try to take an action to reduce weaknesses and invest in strength. Put an action to resist threats and invest in opportunities. Then we set an action plan. We assign the resources, who are the teams, the finance, the technology, all of these in order to apply the excellence model into action, but always set a timeline. When would we achieve what we have decided and planned for? And there should be always M&E, monitoring and evaluation for the results. And the result is the most critical criteria in the excellence model. Remember, 3 pillars, 11 criteria. So monitoring and evaluation would help us to read the gaps. Are we achieving? Do we still have to achieve? And then we develop always and believe in creativity and innovation in order to achieve the excellence arena. And remember, the only thing constant is change. So by applying this model of excellence, we reach the value of excellence. Again, three main pillars: vision, realization, distinctive value, and enablers. With 11 criteria, we move. But remember to set an action plan, then monitoring and evaluation, and let's keep moving and apply the rule called the golden rule in this world is the only thing constant is change. And just remember that when we apply the change model, we have to think of the following issues to serve the change model. First, unfreeze the present status, unfreezing. Then we apply the change models, and we have 2 or 3 main models, but we discussed 2 models of change: Lewin model and Kotter model. These are the models of change. Then you will reach a new culture. This requires that you refreeze. By applying this concept with excellence model, organizations can grow and achieve excellency. Lewin model is what mentioned as the 3 main steps: unfreeze, change, refreeze. This is Lewin model. But in order to apply for organizations, we believe that John Kotter model is the best model for change. And Kotter model includes 8 sequential steps to apply change and reach at the end for achieving the excellency. The main steps in Kotter model: the first is create a sense of urgency. Create a sense of urgency. We have to move. Always, whenever we apply change, there is always resistance. You will find always resistance to change. How can we apply urgency and create a sense of urgency? People, staff, kids, even society will never move to a new model unless they are convinced that the situation, the present situation, is risky to keep. So we start creating the sense of urgency in order to move. The second step, we have to go for create a guiding coalition. We have a team to manage and lead change in organizations. And we have 4 roles to be there: a leader to lead the change, an excellent professional manager that can understand the concept of managing the change, and the third is an expert in the subject matter. If the change is applied to a financial organization, we need an expert in finance. In medical, we need a doctor, for example, and expert. If we have applying in IT, the most professional expert in IT. And number 4 is a very social one that can communicate with all and is the speaker for the team to always comment on the change process, what we are achieving. The third step, the team will gather and set the vision for change. Remember also the excellence model. Vision realization is a very important part. So the team will set the vision, the direction for the future. We have to move. The present is dangerous to keep in, so they set the vision. This is actually making the unfreezing. We are unfreezing the situation. Number 4, the team will gather and communicate the vision. Communicate the vision to all teams, to all departments, to all people affected and affecting. So we have to create a good professional communication level. Then number 5, we apply the empowerment, which means we have to enable people for the next coming generation of services. So empowerment is a must. And here we apply training, coaching, getting professional certificates in a certain subject matter. Number 6, we have to celebrate and create a short-term wins. short-term wins. This will help the team to get passionate and highly motivated and believe in continuous change. Then number 7 is apply more change and never let up. Continuously continue with change for highest level. Then at the end, we anchor the change and we reach the new area, we reach the new vision. So as if 4, 5, 6, and 7 is the change process, and anchor the change in the culture is the refreezing. So by applying this concept of change, relating with the excellence model we presented as 3 main pillars: realization of vision, distinctive value, and enablers, we can understand how we can move with our organizations, our societies, our families to the world of excellence. And really, we are facing lots of problems now. We have lots of crises everywhere, disaster, but we should always think of the excellence value in order, by applying this, at the end, our organizations will feel the benefit of change that will help us to move towards the excellence and apply the excellence model. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.